Welcome to a tutorial on string functions. Now I'm going to be taking you through the string functions that are shown here. Most of them are very useful and applicable to everyday applications, and also definitely applicable to a lot of the videos I will or have already made. Okay, so the first one I'm going to take you through is strlen. This is extremely simple, in which we have a string value of, let's say, hello. Now this function takes a string and counts the amount of characters in that string. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we were to echo out, use this function and echo out the value of the variable string, we should have a result of 5 in our browser. Okay. Now the next function is applicable to this in the fact that if you were looping through the amount of string characters using a for loop, you'd need this to take a specific substring inside. So for example, if we had the string of, let's say, my name is Alex, okay, and we wanted to loop through this, checking each character as we went. Like if you check out my name splitter tutorial, we loop through each single character until we find a space, and then from there on we save the last name. So for this I'm going to say echo out mb substring, and we need to specify the string that you need to check. You need to specify the starting point, so I'm going to say 1, in fact 0, and the length, so I'm going to say in this case 2, and this should echo out my. Okay, we've got my there. See, what it's done is it's gone through this string and said, right, we'll start at 0 and we'll say for 1, 2, we'll echo out that here. If I were to echo out, let's say, what I could do is say strlen, or sorry, length equals strlen of string. So create a new variable here of the length of this string, and then for this is the length. As long as I'm starting from the start, I can put the string length in there, or rather, sorry, the length in there, and as we refresh, we'll get the whole of the string. Bear in mind, what I could do is say strlen minus. I've got 5 on the end of here for my name, so including the full stop. So I could say minus 5. That would take 5 off the length and just echo out my name is. Refresh, and then we've got my name is. So these two functions alone are quite versatile, and using the strlen, that does apply to the mbr substring quite a bit. Okay, the next one I'm going to go through is explode. Now explode will take a string as we have here. Let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll keep it at that. And the explode function, if we echo out explode, it will break your a plain string from the start to the finish. It will break it down into an array. So say we want to create an array out of this. I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stored in each separate element of the array. I'm going to say explode string. I'm going to specify what is used to break up the string. At the moment it's a space. If we had this, we'd replace it by this, because this would be the determining where it starts, and this is the separator, this is the second value. So at the moment we're going to have space. Okay, so you can add anything you want in here. It can be an asterisk, it can be any symbol really, as long as you specify excuse me, what breaks up the string, explode, and then the name of the string, and then that should be it. So if we check that out, refresh, array, at the moment we're echoing out the array. Obviously you can see what I've done is just echoed out an array. We can tell that it has been set to an array because we've had, as you can see, as you might have known from my array tutorial, my basic tutorial, that's just telling us we have an array. So now if we just use this function on its own and then echo out, in fact what we need to do is we need to set this to a variable. So let's say x array equals that, and then we're going to say x array, we're going to echo out. Now remember, we can use 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that would be it. since this value would be 0, this would be 1. So let's say I want to echo out 1, that should equal 2. Okay, so we've successfully broken our array. Like I said before, you can put these in and just replace that with that, and we will have exactly the same result here. Okay, right, so that's explode. Now the opposite of that is implode. Now what I want to do is I'm going to get rid of this. You can see the implode function up here, also called join, so you can call this as join or implode depending on how you feel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new string, and that's going to be a value of implode, and what we're going to implode is our exp array. Okay, so let's give that a go. Okay, we've done that without any errors. Now if we echo out our new string, that should equal what we started with before, with no spaces, but what you can do is you can specify what you want to break up your array. So here I've just added a space in. Like if you wanted these back in there, you could just stick a / in there and you would get that result. But basically these are from converting to and from arrays, so explode and implode, and like I said before, this can be written as join, and we refresh and we get exactly the same result. So that's another function there. Okay, the next function I'm going to go through is NL2BR. Now this is really easy when you're working from databases, when data's been stored on a immediate line basis. Now remember I said that if you have watched my basic tutorials, you will have known that this hello, or should I say, yeah, I'll say hello, new line, another new line. This will not be, and that there wouldn't be regarded as a line break. Let's say we'll keep it as that. Okay, so this, if I echo this out, you can imagine what would happen. We have this, unless we use BR, we are going to get this result here. Now, if you don't want to use HTML code for some reason, or if you're taking from a database result, you won't have the. You'll probably have to make up quite a complex function to put line breaks in it when people are submitting to a database. So, for example, if you just had this plain text in a database, what you'd really want to do is just echo it out like this without having to manually use code to put breaks in, if that makes sense. But if you put NL2BR at the start of a string, and make sure you end your bracket there, you'll see that this will echo out the exact way it is. We've had a line break up the top because we have got this here is regarded as a line break. If we have this up here, we've got that. Okay, so without NL2BR, we would get that, and with NL2BR, we would get that. It just echoes out the exact data inside of that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this video here because I'm running out of time. Check out the second part for the rest of these functions to be gone through. Okay, see you soon.